Cognitive psychology. The cognitive psychology deals with human information processing abilities. Psychologists in this field try to study all aspects of cognition, such as memory, both long and short term, thinking, problem solving, decision making, language, reasoning, attention, perception, and metacognition. Metacognition is, in a broad sense, just the thoughts that a person has about their own thoughts. Comparative psychology. It studies and compares the behavior of different species, especially animals. That is why some authors used to call this field as animal psychology. By studying animal behavior, these psychologists gather important information which can be compared with and applied to human behavior as well. For example, investigating how the queen bee directs, control, and gets things done by the worker bees may provide meaningful information about leadership. Imprinting in ducks and geese, studied by Lawrence in 1935, so he found that there was a critical period of infancy when the ducklings would become attached to their mothers, and that if that window of opportunity were missed, it would not become attached in later life. Harlow in 1958 found that infant monkeys that were separated from their mothers and from all other monkeys suffered irreversible social and emotional damage. Many psychologists have argued that human infants also have a critical attachment period and that they too suffer permanent long-term damage if they are separated from their attachment figure. Cultural psychology. The branch studies the ways in which culture, subculture, and ethnic group membership affects behavior. These psychologists do cross-cultural research and compare behavior of people of different culture across different nations. Experimental psychology. This field investigates all aspects of psychological processes like perception, learning, and motivation. The major research method used in this field deals with controlled experiment. Morgan 1986 mentioned that experimental method is also used by psychologists involved in other than experimental psychology. For instance, social psychologists may do experiments to determine the effects of various group pressures and its influences on person's behavior. So in spite of its name, it is not the method that distinguishes experimental psychology from other subfields. Instead, experimental psychology is distinguished by what it studies: the fundamental processes of learning, memory, thinking, sensation and perception, motivation, emotion, and the psychological or biological basis of behavior under certain circumstances. Gender psychology. This field studies the roles and influences of gender on basis of researches done on males and females. It tries to analyze the acquisition of gender identity and the role of gender throughout the life. Some examples of studies are: do men on average have a higher general intelligence score? Are men as sensitive as women in understanding others' thoughts and emotions? Maybe it's a reason why men are in minority in field of psychology and it's dominated by women in general. Are males more likely to view homosexuals as mentally ill than females? To be honest, I don't know the answer to these questions, but if you have an opinion, feel free to put it in the comment box or our Telegram group. Thank you. If you are interested to join a community of like-minded people, check out the link in the description of our Telegram group. Thank you.